I'm tired. I don't think you care. It's a hit list for May 2017. Let's do this.
Percocet, Miley Percocet.
Why is Future allowed to be in public again? The only thing I can really find tolerable in this song, tolerable mind you, is the beat. And like I said, tolerable. I mean, I guess the main thing is just another Future song. You know, it's mumbly lyrics that you can't really understand. And when you can't understand them, it's just a list of drugs followed by some catchphrase that I guess Future liked as a hook. So he decided to use it in bunch of drugs, entire hook. You can't really understand what else he's saying. I'm sure somebody can understand what he's saying. It's not me being old, okay? I can still understand Eminem. I can still understand Mystical. I can still understand a bunch of guys. The problem with Future is that he mumbles too much for me to actually understand him, and I know that's supposed to be part of the gimmick. That doesn't mean that I like it, though. So, you know, God, not to sound like some fucking backpacking hipster, but can we get some good hip-hop at the top of the charts? I know it exists.
Oh, pray them niggas go away. Oh, we sell a clown.
Alright, this is a step in the right direction. I mean, at least it's fun. Lil Yachty, I haven't really liked Lil Yachty before now. He's pretty lifeless, but Kyle certainly seems like he's enjoying himself at the very least. Although one thing I think is worth noting about this song is there's a lot of, like, random bragging for a song that's about a girl. Shouldn't you be focusing a little bit more on the girl that you're after? But like I said, it's at the very least got a fun sound. Oh, and by the way, Yachty, they come in pairs like balls in my nutsack? Ew. That's just gross. Stop it. Get some help.
All you have to do is stay a minute.
Hey, I'm talking about Zedd for once. I haven't really found myself listening to a lot of Zedd, but I do kind of like this song. It's similar to some of the Chainsmokers stuff that's been coming out. I mean, I really hope this isn't leading to us replacing Lean On-itis with Closer-itis. But, you know, it's nice. And I will say this, I think one strength to this one is having a singer like Alicia Cara on the song, you know, providing some good vocals and some decently written vocals. I will say this, if the trend starts becoming well-written vocals on top of good EDM, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that being a trend. But, you know, hopefully not the same EDM and the same type of vocals every single time. You know what I mean? And yeah, like I said, it's kind of a filler song, but it's a good filler song. It's one that I'd play, but not one I necessarily am looking to seek out.
I got loyalty, got royalty.
It's about time you got back up here, Kendrick. When was your last top 20 single? What, Swimming Pools? On your first major label album? I mean, Swimming Pools is a great song, but damn if you've gotten better since then. Didn't really think that was too possible. But yeah, it happened. It's damn near criminal that you haven't had a hit before this. Like, you know, the stuff like Poetic Justice, the singles from To Pimp a Butterfly, King Kunta. How did that not become a hit? I don't know. Like, still, I'm glad that this is here. I'm glad that this is here. And now we finally have some good rap to talk about. This song, in particular, it's very much a brag rap. It's kind of, sort of has a hook. It's weird. It's got like this sort of like cadence that serves as the hook, but he's saying different things with each cadence. And it really flows between bragging about himself, dressing down the listener, and then bragging about himself again. But it sort of flows between these, where it sort of transitions from one into the other. And transitions into different topics to brag about. It does a very good song. I'd say it's better than Starboy. Starboy is like the primary example I've been using lately of a good brag song. I think I have a more recent good example than Starboy. I love it. I freaking love it.
Bitch, be humble. Bitch, sit down.
I have no idea where to start this. I guess a good launching point would be to talk about the lyric that everybody's talking about with this song. Possibly the lyric that got this song to number one. The short few lines where Kendrick is talking about having a preference for naturally beautiful women. And it's weird because there's talk about this being misogynistic, and you know, I guess in the same way that most rap lyrics are misogynistic, but at the same time, he's talking about like he doesn't want flaws airbrushed away, and that shouldn't that be considered a good thing? But people are talking about that being, you know, him taking advantage of women who have self-confidence issues. But I see it the opposite way. I see it as him saying that you shouldn't have self-confidence issues because, you know, Kendrick Lamar likes you. I mean, that kind of washes away some self-confidence issues there, but that's beside the point. I guess I can see where people could see that as taking advantage, but at the same time, I think the more intended interpretation is that Kendrick would rather see someone for who they are and be able to determine whether he's attracted to them or not, rather than see this sort of perfect image in a magazine and not really be able to judge. He would rather see that natural person even in the magazine. I think the use of Photoshop in that line specifically points to the fact that he's talking about the magazines in particular, where they'll tend to sort of use photo editing techniques in order to get rid of people's flaws, in order to make them look more beautiful, more conventionally attractive, when in reality it should be about the individual person. And in reality that creates an interesting dynamic. Like if we do less to promote this image of conventional beauty, then the self-confidence issues will start to go away. Thus, Kendrick potentially taking advantage of people who are less self-confident. Him saying that he wants to see that less is him saying that he wants to have that self-confidence issue not be a thing. At least that's my interpretation, and that's a lot to say about only a couple of lines. I haven't even talked about the rest of the song. I haven't even talked about, like, you know, how the chorus is apparently directed towards Big Sean. And just how good the general flow of the song is. But think about how much I had to say about just like 4 lines, really. 4 lines of a song can create that much of a social dialogue, right? So if we're creating all this social dialogue from just 4 lines of Kendrick's song, and it's the #1 song in the country because of that dialogue that's being created, potentially because of that dialogue that's being created, then considering how self-conscious of a rapper and how socially conscious of a rapper Kendrick tends to be, didn't he get what he wanted whether you agreed with his statements or not? Something to think about.
Fuck them kids, bro.